Hello there students, welcome back to this video series. This is your instructor Dhruvi Bhatt and today I would be talking about one more economic problem which is unemployment. We talked about poverty in our previous lecture and we also understood that unemployment is one of the basic reasons for poverty to happen. Today we would be discussing different types of unemployment. Also, we would be talking about what are causes of unemployment and how we can eradicate those causes. Eradicating unemployment would by default eradicate poverty. So, let us move further and first try to understand what exactly is meant by unemployment. Unemployment is defined as a situation where someone of working age is not able to get a job but would like to be in full-time employment. Remember, someone who is not able to get a job but who is looking for a job. Someone who is looking for a job, someone who can do a job, who is of the age, working age, and who is actively participating in finding a job. For example, if you have just took a sabbatical or if a lady is off duty or off work to take care of her child, then it is not known as unemployment. If you are actively looking for a job, if you are of working age but still you are unable to get a job, then you are unemployed. Let us see this in detail. Who is considered to be unemployed? Greater than 18 years of age, available to work full time in past 4 weeks and actively looking for work in past 4 weeks. If you are not looking for work or if you are not available for full-time work, then it is not unemployment. If you are part-time working anywhere, that is also employment. Okay, so basically these three are the necessary things for any person to be considered to be unemployed. Moving further, let us understand what are different types of unemployment. You wouldn't have thought unemployment too has types, ma'am. Dependent on different causes of unemployment, we will see what are different types of unemployment. First and foremost type of unemployment is structural unemployment. Due to changes in structure of any work, this type of unemployment occurs. It is associated with mismatch of the skills and the jobs. The workers have some skills but the jobs are looking for some other skills. So there are jobs, there are workers, but they do not match and this leads to unemployment, which is structural unemployment. For example, these two workers do not have presentation skills and that is why they are unemployed. Their company nowadays is shifting to presentations and everything online. And they do not have the skill and that is why they are unemployed. This type of unemployment keeps on creeping in whenever there is change in structure. Typewriters were replaced by computers. The telegram system was replaced by postal system and now it is replaced by emails. Because there is change in technology, as new technologies are arising, either people need to upgrade themselves to that new technology or they will be unemployed because they do have skills but the skills are not something what is required by the job. That is structural unemployment. Another type of unemployment is regional unemployment. There are jobs but jobs are in some different location and people are not ready to move to that different location, then it is known as regional unemployment. We are caught here by our cultural barriers, maybe language barriers, maybe social barriers, I do not know. But we are caught somewhere due to some barriers and we are not able to move from one city to another or from one country to another to accept employment, then it causes regional unemployment. Examples can be, if some company shuts down its branch in Gandhinagar but still it has a branch in Pune somewhere, if the employees do not want to shift to Pune, then the employees of Gandhinagar would be unemployed. That is regional unemployment. Due to the lack of geographical mobility, this type of unemployment occurs. Moving forward, the next type of unemployment is cyclical unemployment. Due to no inherent fault of the worker, cyclical unemployment takes place due to downturn of aggregate demand, due to recession. To be very simplistic, due to recession, the unemployment which takes place is known as cyclical unemployment. In recession, people's demand for goods and services decrease. Here, as you can see in the picture, the customers' demand for soda cans decreased, and that is why some factory worker in the soda factory was fired. This is cyclical unemployment. If demand for certain goods, commodities or services decreases, it leads to unemployment in that sector, and that is cyclical unemployment. This occurs due to downturn of demand. Okay. Moving forward, the next type of unemployment is classical unemployment. Here, the prevailing wages are so high that employees are not able to afford worker at the real wages, at these high wages, because they are not able to keep these workers at such high wages. They fire them or they do not hire them, and this leads to classical unemployment. Here the prevailing rates or prevailing wages, employment rates due to the demand curve is very high, and some of the employees will not be able to pay the prevailing wages. That is why many people remain unemployed. This is also known as Keynesian unemployment, because the curve here is Keynesian curve. It is a simple supply demand ratio here where the wages are very high, the supply for workers is very high, but the employees are not able to pay this high wages. When the wages is very low, no one is ready to work at that low wages. So here supply of workers at low wage is very low. At high wage, supply of workers is high, but the employee is not able to pay the higher wage. This leads to classical unemployment or real wage unemployment. Moving forward, we also have seasonal unemployment. Some of the sectors or some of the works are purely seasonal, like farming, like tourism, like event management, like selling of seasonal goods. All these things are seasonal businesses. So without particular season in which the business flourishes, remaining amount of time there is unemployment amongst these people, and it is known as seasonal unemployment. Moving forward, we have frictional unemployment. When you are between jobs, such type of unemployment occurs. You have left the old job and you are in search of a new job. During this period, during the period between when you left the old job and you are getting the new job, that for that period, if you are unemployed, it is known as frictional unemployment. This unemployment is for a very short duration and hopefully it ends soon. The next type of unemployment is voluntary unemployment. This is the most dangerous type of unemployment. At the prevailing wages, the employees are not ready to work. They have the feeling that they will stay home, they will stay put, they will stay unemployed instead of working at a lower wage. They choose not to work on the equilibrium wage rate, and this leads to voluntary unemployment. They do not want to work at all at the prevailing wage rates, and this leads to unemployment. Moving forward, we have disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment refers to a situation of employment with surplus manpower, in which some workers have zero marginal productivity, so that their removal will not affect the volume of total output. In simple words, there are too many workers and too less workers are required. One person can do everything which is designated work, but still 10 people are hired to do that particular work. So only one person is actually employed or actually increasing the production. The remaining 9 are unemployed. They have disguised unemployment. In most of the cases, such type of unemployment is found in farming, where entire family is working at the farm, but actually no one is increasing the productivity to a very huge margin. That is disguised unemployment. Moving forward, let us try to understand that what causes unemployment. Why is there unemployment and what are the reasons? First and foremost reason is again rapid population growth. Very high number of people chasing too few jobs. There are less jobs and many people are competing. The best people will get the jobs. The remaining will get unemployed. Sad but true. High population leads to poverty, leads to unemployment. There, too many people were chasing too few goods. Here, too many people are chasing too few jobs. In both the cases, population is a problem. Try reducing it. Second problem is inappropriate use of technology. In blindly following other countries and by far the Western culture, we are using technology where it is not required. What is your opinion? Are we a capital-centric country or a labor-centric country? We have labor surplus and we are more of a labor-centric country. So, we need to use more people and we need to employ more people instead of using too good technology. Nowadays, machines are replacing humans. One computer can do work of 10 people which was manually done. But those people who were manually doing work, they got unemployed due to a machine. Yes, machine can do it faster and at a lesser cost, but use of technology by firing employees is not a correct decision. A single JCB machine working in construction can do a work of 100 workers together. That machine is actually creating unemployment for 100 such people. Because we are a labor-centric country, we need to make sure that we use less technology or use technology only where it is necessary and give more opportunity to people, to workers. The next problem here is growth without adequate opportunity options. It is not that companies are not growing or industries are not growing, but with their growth, are equal employment opportunities created? A simple factory, when it was producing 200 units of say biscuits, it had 50 employees. It started producing 20,000 units of biscuits. Did it hire more employees in same proportion? The answer would obviously be no. Because there would be growth, but the same employees would be given more work instead of giving employment opportunities to new people. The same employees might be given, say, a bonus of 5,000, 10,000 rupees, costing less than hiring a new worker, right? Thinking with a business mind. But growth must ensure employment. Okay. Moving forward, the last problem is inappropriate education system. The difference between what is required in a job and what is taught in the curriculum is the gap we need to bridge here. This causes unemployment. In IT sector specifically, the current industry trends and the curriculum hardly match. Yes, the academicians are trying to bridge the gap as much as possible, but still we are not succeeded. So, inappropriate education system which is purely focusing on theoretical frameworks without any practical knowledge or without proper importance to industry standards, skills required by the industry, also causes unemployment. This requires improvement. Let us see how can we reduce unemployment. First and foremost, try improving skills and reducing occupational immobility. Both are a dire problem. Try improving skills, improve educational strategies, include more practical work in curriculums, include courseworks in curriculum, include internships in curriculum, where students can go to companies and see the practical scenarios, work on live projects. Include all these things in curriculum except just focusing on subjects. Also reduce immobility. Reduce geographical or occupational immobility where people are less enthusiastic of traveling in different cities or different countries. Make sure that they are offered enough benefits to move out. Increasing aggregate demand. Try increasing aggregate demand. Okay, this is an interdependent step. We can increase aggregate demand if people's income are high. People's income would be high if there would be less unemployment. So, try to increase aggregate demand as and when possible and by whomever it is possible. If people would be able to increase the demand, then more people would be hired, would get employment opportunities. So, try making sure that people's aggregate demand and purchasing power is increased. Moreover, the government should give benefits and tax reforms. Government already does so up to some extent, I would not lie here, but more benefits and tax reforms should be designed in such a way that people are motivated to work more because they are earning more. Here the problem is, as people earn more, they have to pay a huge amount as tax. People must be given some of the relaxation in taxes so that they are more motivated to work harder and with more efficiency. Also, government can try giving employment subsidies and employment tax cuts. They must give employment subsidies to employers. The more number of employees you hire, the higher subsidy will be given to your company. Government will give you higher subsidy. Government will give you higher help for working or for growing your company. But only if you hire a high amount of people. Try creating employment banks. Try giving employment opportunities to more people. If you become a businessman tomorrow, do remember this. I would end on this note. Thank you so much for such patiently listening to me. This is Dhruvi Bhatt signing off. Until next time. Bye-bye.